Nakashima Island, Japan. Moving away from the beauty of wild nature, we face a bizarre concrete island rising from the ocean exactly like a massive military battleship. Once one of the most densely populated places on Earth, where thousands of coal miners crowded together, this entire settlement was abruptly abandoned. The crumbling concrete walls and thousands of empty windows are now haunting ruins of the sudden rise and fall of a glorious industrial era. Walking along the desolate roads filled with heavy ocean wind brings a profoundly deep experience regarding the fragility of the great civilizations built by human hands. Standing in the middle of the silent ghost city reminds us of the devastating power of time and how nature is quietly but persistently reclaiming her dominance. Aogashima Island, Japan. Continuing our exploration of the vast ocean, we discover a miraculous miniature world completely hidden inside the mouth of a sleeping volcano. Far from the rushed noise of modern civilization, this tropical island proudly possesses an extremely rare double volcano structure, along with vertical cliffs that shield it from storms. Inside that massive crater is a small and peaceful community of residents living unhurriedly alongside stray cats, warming themselves near natural geothermal vents. Life passes incredibly slowly as the indigenous people prepare delicious fresh fish sushi by hand and completely merge their rhythm of life with primitive natural power. Camping under the brilliant night sky here and listening to the breath of the earth brings a perfect escape that returns the human soul to its purest values. Christmas Island, Australia. Our magnificent journey concludes at an isolated land in the Indian Ocean, privileged to witness the most spectacular migration miracle in the biological world. Whenever the heavy early season rains pour down, over 50 million bright red crabs wake up simultaneously and begin an arduous journey toward the sea. All the paved roads and deep green forests seem to be covered by a vibrant living red carpet, constantly moving in rhythm to the fierce call of survival instinct. The local people deeply respect this event by voluntarily closing many traffic routes to yield an absolutely safe path for these brave little creatures. This spectacular natural event is a highly poetic affirmation that the flame of life always knows how to burst brightest even in the most isolated and harsh places. Hidden Beach, Mexico. Crossing the ocean to the sunlit American waters, we find a secret oasis neatly tucked inside a massive sinkhole pointing directly toward the sky. Looking exactly like a giant eye of the earth, this natural stone dome carefully shelters a smooth white sand beach and incredibly still turquoise water. Only accessible through a secret flooded tunnel, the journey to find this hidden beach brings a thrilling sense of excitement for souls thirsting for adventure. The sturdy embrace of the ancient limestone cliffs has turned this place into an absolute sanctuary, completely isolated from the violent storms of the outside world. Bathing in the radiant sunlight piercing through the majestic dome is a priceless gift that heals and revitalizes every traveler after a long journey. Avenue of the Baobabs, Madagascar. Entering a wild land that seems to belong to another planet, we are completely overwhelmed by giant trees shaped as if they were planted upside down. This vast savanna was once the home of the greatest giant elephant birds in history, but now only these resilient trees remain standing guard under the fiery sky. Miraculously surviving through thousands of years of history, these ancient giants reach as high as a 10-story building and have the capacity to store thousands of gallons of life-saving water. Today you will see gentle local people relying on the shade of the ancient trees and silently preserving a primitive rhythm of life from 1,000 generations ago. Watching their towering silhouettes boldly printed against the brilliant sunset sky is truly an unmatched visual privilege that every photographer wishes to capture in their lens. Navajo Beach, Greece. Shifting towards the brilliant Mediterranean waters, we find a breathtakingly beautiful bay, completely surrounded by incredibly treacherous vertical limestone cliffs. Nestled on the pure white sand and embraced by the dazzling neon blue water is the wreck of a mysterious ship that has permanently rested here since 1980. The desolate rust of the shipwreck contrasts fiercely with the pristine and gorgeous beauty of nature, creating one of the most iconic photographic scenes on the globe. Because it can only be accessed by small boats, this beach still retains its fully intact primitive beauty without being ruined by the massive hustle of the modern world. Admiring this natural masterpiece combined with a human ruin from the top of the towering cliff brings an overwhelming feeling and an ultimate desire for absolute freedom. Socotra Island, Yemen. We begin our journey at a remote island possessing bizarre vegetation, exactly like an alien dream that has undergone millions of years of evolution in absolute isolation. The greatest symbol of the island is the ancient dragon blood trees with wide canopies looking exactly like flying saucers rooted in the dry ground. Amidst this untouched nature, you might encounter indigenous people who have lived their entire lives in ancient caves and used the dark red resin of the dragon blood tree to heal their wounds. Along with that is the breathtaking sight of wild dolphins freely hunting near the shore, creating a miraculous portrait of survival. Wandering through this misty valley and touching the rough tree bark brings a profound sense of peace as you witness the miracle of life amidst a harsh environment. Vadhu Island, Maldives. Venturing into the incredibly warm tropical seas, we discover a magical beach capable of transforming into a brilliant glowing galaxy as night falls. Billions of tiny single-celled organisms collectively illuminate the entire shallow water with a mystical neon blue light whenever the waves gently crash onto the sandy shore. This miraculous natural bioluminescent system creates a sparkling tapestry of stars that perfectly blends with the vast night sky of the boundless ocean. Walking on the glowing sand and letting the magical water caress your feet will bring you a deeply poetic and absolutely healing travel experience. The pure silence of the night combined with this mysterious blue light will surely wash away all your worries and return your soul to its most pristine purity. Is there a spectacular destination you have always deeply longed to visit but have not yet had the opportunity to make a reality? Please share your unfulfilled travel dreams in the comments below so we can bring them to life on screen together. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Returning to the windy coast of the United Kingdom, we step onto a mystical stone matrix that looks exactly like a man-made architectural structure. Over 40,000 hexagonal basalt columns fit together so perfectly that they create the strong illusion of a masterpiece carved by supernatural hands. Romantic local folklore tells that this is the grand remnant of a massive road built by an ancient giant to cross the ocean and battle his legendary enemy. From a scientific perspective, the boiling lava cracked into these perfect geometric shapes when it suddenly met the freezing seawater 60 million years ago. Wandering on these ancient stone blocks and listening to the roaring ocean waves brings an incredibly majestic experience that perfectly blends mythology and geology. Have you ever stood before a natural landscape so magnificent that it left you completely silent and speechless? Please tell us your most unforgettable travel memory in the comments below as we continue this epic exploration. Faroe Islands, Denmark. Drifting toward the freezing northern Atlantic Ocean, we are overwhelmed by one of the greatest optical illusions of the natural world. Perched precariously on top of vertical cliffs is a massive freshwater lake that appears to hover, defying all laws of gravity right above the churning white ocean. During the summer, this treeless land becomes a vibrant ecological paradise as millions of seabirds gather here to breed among the lush green meadows where sheep peacefully graze. The intense contrast between the tranquil lake surface and the furious waves crashing against the cliffs creates a breathtaking visual masterpiece far beyond human imagination. When the water overflows the rocky edge and violently roars down into the deep ocean, that majestic scene truly leaves any passionate traveler completely breathless. Il Mok Island, Palau, hidden deep within a dense archipelago, is an incredibly still saltwater lake that has been completely isolated from the ocean for over 12,000 years. This permanent separation from the vast sea created a spectacular biological miracle as millions of golden jellyfish evolved to completely lose their natural venom. Every day, this giant swarm of jellyfish peacefully drifts, following the trajectory of the sunlight, creating a rhythmic dance beneath the crystal clear water, just like a foggy dream. Swimming among millions of these glowing and harmless creatures brings an endless feeling of freedom, as if you are floating among fluffy clouds at the bottom of the water. The absolute peace of this isolated lake proves that sometimes separation is the most perfect protective embrace Mother Nature can offer her fragile creatures. Easter Island, Chile. Our grand journey takes us to the most isolated inhabited land on the entire planet, resting alone amidst the endless expanse of the Pacific Ocean. This volcanic island proudly preserves one of the greatest archaeological mysteries of humanity, created by the very hands of courageous indigenous people. History remains forever amazed at how ancient citizens moved thousands of giant stone statues along the windy shores without the need for any modern machinery. Their descendants today still continue to live on the island, strongly preserving their diverse culture and silently protecting the priceless heritage of their ancestors. Standing under the shadow of these solemnly majestic statues makes travelers feel their own smallness and a sacred historical depth that cannot be measured by years. As our cinematic journey across these mesmerizing islands comes to a close, we grow even more respectful of the great creative art of Mother Nature. Which secret world completely stole your heart during our spectacular visual expedition today? Please subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts below so we can proudly bring your next dream journey to life together.